Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, I know, but today, today we're coming back with the most recent news that is currently going on in the United States, obviously, and those news are Bernie Sanders obviously dropped out a couple days ago, and I had a reaction to it. And today he happened to come out and endorse Joe Biden officially, and unfortunately, it wasn't for the reasons why we wanted to. But let's watch a little clip from the live stream that Bernie had on his Twitter profile.
Bernie, I want to thank you for that. It's a big deal, and I think that your endorsement means a great deal. It means a great deal to me. I think people are going to be surprised that we are apart on some issues, but we're awfully close on a whole bunch of others. And I think you've made. If I am the nominee, which it looks like now, you just made me. I'm going to need you, not just to win the campaign, but to govern. So, Bernie, I want to thank you.
So there you guys have it. There's a little clip of what Joe Biden came out and say for Bernie Sanders after he publicly announced his endorsement towards him. And as you see right there, he kind of acted that he was surprised that he would endorse him. And after all the things that have been going on for like the last 2 weeks, pushing him towards Bernie dropping out, bullying him down, telling him that he's gonna reason why Donald Trump is gonna get reelected like 2016, and also that you know he the Bernie Sanders actually trying to make some like simple reason of why he was endorsing him. Obviously, we don't know why. But what do you think about this, Kenneth? Obviously, we didn't hear from you from what you thought about Bernie Sanders dropping out in the first place. So, but with everything that has going on so far after what happened a couple of days ago, what are your thoughts about?
To be honest, it doesn't. Like we're just gonna ignore Bernie Sanders dropping out because we all know how everyone feels about that. But when it comes to endorsing Joe Biden, I don't think it matters. I don't think it really matters. I don't think it matters to anyone else. It was never Bernie Sanders became the face. Yeah, maybe a lot of people feel that Bernie Sanders was the reason why they wanted to join. But in reality, it was more about his ideas. It was more about what he stood for because the movement was around before Bernie Sanders, right? And this was like Occupy Wall Street. All this stuff happened way before Bernie Sanders was even a thing. He was just the person that was the highest ranking politician to vocalize it. And so this is mostly something to placate the establishment. This is something where it's like they're gonna be like, oh, now his voters have to vote for. But I personally think Bernie Sanders know that his supporters not really gonna go for Joe Biden, but he's saying it that way they can't blame him in case Joe Biden loses. And
Yeah,
so and so I think that what's gonna happen is that people who voted for Sanders, which is a chunk of people, I can't say it's everybody, but a chunk of people, they're that camp where it's just like I I came here for Sanders, only Sanders, and I don't really want to say Bernie or bust because I don't think it's going to be Bernie or bust. I think it's they'll support anything, they'll support anyone who espouses the same ideas.
yeah,
But I think that a lot of people are like, hey, I like what this guy's saying. I like the way he's doing it. I'm gonna go because Sanders lost the Democratic primary, but he still blew all the other Democratic candidates away and Republican votes and independent votes. And those guys, for the most part, couldn't vote in the Democratic primary. So I think that as a result of that, a lot of people are just gonna be like, I'm not gonna vote for anyone else because I support Bernie Sanders. But I'm not necessarily a Democrat because I don't really care about the Democratic Party. I only cared about senators. And you see a lot of people had that sentiment. People. I've heard stories, from people. I think was on the Hill Cigar said that he read it to a Uber driver who said that if Sanders lost, that he didn't really care. He wasn't gonna vote because he didn't come here for everyone else. He came here for Sanders. And so I think that's the sentiment that a lot of people echo, and I think that's what the establishment is missing.
Yeah, pretty much that's essentially what people how people are feeling right now. Obviously, I think one of the main things a lot of people were also concerned is the fact that we thought the Bernie Sanders was gonna at least try to push one of the main policies that he was very eager to fight for during the 2020 campaign, which is either Medicare for all, some climate change, or perhaps the huge, massive debt of the student loans that people have.
He
And
did. He
we didn't get
did help.
anything.
Yeah, he got Medicare for all. Yeah, he lowered it from 65 to 60.
But I
So
mean, even Hillary Clinton, the 2016, she
Medicare for,
lowered that to 50.
Medicare for all people 60 and above.
Obviously, it's not enough, right? And then people obviously laugh to what Joe
Yeah,
Biden and his team propose.
they're operating for that same mentality that they operated from in 2016, which is who else they're going to vote for. And it's just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Like, that's the thing, right? People keep saying, like that tweet from Joy Reid you showed me earlier,
Hmm.
where she attacked Polanski for saying that
Yeah.
he's not a real left voter because he won't vote for Biden. It was like, I'm a real left voter. It's just that I'm not going to vote for Biden because Biden is not left enough, right? He's not good enough
Yeah.
left,
He doesn't
right? So,
actually, he doesn't have any progressive opinion in any on the policies that we support. You get
yeah, I mean, that's
me?
for, he said he would support the Green New Deal, but who cares? The thing is that like
When?
the point of it, it was one of his policy platforms. I saw his website, but it's one of those things where it's just like no one really cares if you're gonna do half step. Like the reason people want free college for everybody, not just the poor, is because if everyone has a chance to go to public college, it's harder to dismantle than if you say, oh, because there you could just challenge it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here's something that discriminates against wealthy people, and then you have to survive all these court battles based on that. And if we have a conservative Supreme Court, they're gonna say, yeah, that's right. It's discriminatory against rich people. That's not okay, and it is gone. You see that's a problem. And so it's like one of those things where you have to make it as strong as possible so they can't take it down because they won't be able to challenge it like Social Security. Or just say, hey, you pay in, you get money out. That's it. If you it doesn't matter how much well, it does have a cap on how much you earn, I believe, how much you tax, and you can max it out. But no matter how rich you are, you get Social Security, it makes it harder for people to get rid of it. Because the more discrepancies you built into the system, though, the easier it is to dismantle later down the line. And so the fact that he's like, oh, I only want Medicare, or more, I'm gonna lower the Medicare down for 60. It's like it's like all this is purposely designed to slap Sanders supporters in the face. It's like we're not gonna give you anything, get over it, blah blah, and then we're still gonna blame you if he loses because you didn't vote for him,
Yeah.
despite the fact that everyone knows what we're voting for. But as I said in 2016, this was on purpose. Like you can see the exact moment. If you go back and watch the 2016 election from beginning to end, or primary from beginning to end, you can see the exact moments where they started dividing the Democratic Party just to help get a Hillary Clinton elected, right? Just to make sure that Hillary Clinton won. And then like, you had the media, you had everyone else, and I think that that's all this is. It's just like saying, "Hey, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to give you anything, but vote. You're going to vote for us anyway. And if you're not really a leftist, despite the fact that many people at the Democratic Party never supported Joe Biden. They only really voted for it because they thought he'd be more electable because he's Joe Biden, aka Barack Obama's vice president,
Yeah.
and that the media pretty much put a bubble around Joe Biden. Didn't really say anything. Didn't really call him out. They call senators out for everything for the last 50 years. They never called Joe Biden out for most things. Never talked about the sexual assault. They never called him out in the debate when he openly lied about cutting Social Security. But they call senators out. Oh, they're in a debate about something he said in 1970s about supporting Castro's education system or teaching people their ability to read. Like it's amazing, really. But now with Trump, he's not gonna have that media protection because he can't. Because
Yeah.
now, because now the opposite president is just gonna go after him as hard as possible. And you already saw the first ad that popped up.
Yeah, we
You should
saw a
show.
couple ads, and let's see what Donald Trump has. Uh, but I also want to like, what do you think about Bernie Sanders now? Obviously, you said it right that beginning that obviously they're gonna blame him for everything, and he didn't want to overstay his position, and with this whole pandemic going on, that was gonna make it worse. He couldn't really do anything. He couldn't bring people together to fight for a certain position or for the campaign itself.
I think he did. I think he did bring people together. I think that his coalition was broad. The problem was is that the people he brought together, they were as motivated, I guess you could say, and a lot of other states. But then on top of that, but I think most importantly though was that, well, they were motivated, they just didn't come out to vote. But I also think a lot of it had to do with the media just attacking Sanders for like any little thing, right?
Yeah.
Any little thing that happened, they attacked him for. They said it 100 times. Oh, Sanders didn't apologize for his supporters, despite him apologizing like 7, 8 times. And it's just like they kept making excuse after excuse. As soon as he, like I said, as soon as he won, was it Nevada? As soon as Bernie Sanders won Nevada, right?
Yeah.
It was Nevada, right? Yeah. As soon as he won Nevada, they were just like, "Oh, this is terrible. This is like he's a Nazi. This is like Berlin is falling. His supporters are brownshirts." It's like, can you imagine if they said the same thing about Joe Biden when he won South Carolina? Oh, this is like the KKK winning. Oh my God, like he voted for votes. They didn't do any of that stuff for him, and so you could tell who they play favors for, who they shield for, and why. And so now they're saying, "Hey, vote. This is not left." It's like, no. If you don't vote for Joe Biden, you're left.
Uh huh.
If they if they want some kind of, if the people who are attacking you for not voting for Joe Biden or voting the way they want you to vote are attacking you for it, it's because they're not left enough. They want you to have authoritarian tendencies. They want you to fall in line. They're authoritarian. They're literally more right to you, and so they don't want democracy. They want control. I mean, I don't know what else to do, because why else would you attack people for not liking your candidate? I thought that was democracy. I vote for whoever I want to vote for based on
Yeah.
the issues.
Yeah. And now they just happen to bring that stupid argument back that if you vote for whoever you want to, you're literally voting for Trump. Besides you're voting for the usual candidate who is Joe Biden. And obviously, that's a rehash argument that didn't work in 2016, and you eventually led to people not giving a
Yeah,
flying fuck.
you see how weak the argument is. It's like when you can't even admit to yourself that Joe Biden is good enough to vote for, right? You have to say, "Hey, vote for the Supreme Court, vote for everything around Joe Biden, not Joe Biden himself." Just like Hillary Clinton, it shows you how weak the candidate actually is, and you see that they're struggling to like get that point across because they're like, "What are we gonna do?" But like I said, personally, I don't even think it was designed to win. I think he was just designed to defeat Bernie Sanders.
Essentially, let's watch one of the ads from Donald Trump that is currently going on around some of the battle states that he's gonna need the vote, for him to win the general election.
Unprecedented by our nation in crisis. But through the uncertainty and fear, our president is a steady hand, bold action, strong leadership, uniting America. From the beginning, President Trump was decisive, stopping travel from foreign nations, gathering our best and brightest, slowing the spread of COVID-19. President Trump will relaunch our economy and fight for the American worker, helping a nation in need, delivering unprecedented bipartisan relief. Thank you, President Trump. Our nation in crisis, but through the uncertainty and fear, our
So there you go. You guys have it. there. I mean, it kind of encapsulates so to whatever he's been trying to say for the last 2 months or so with the COVID pandemic. That he's like, obviously, there's massive evidence on him saying otherwise. So he's trying to say the pandemic was a hoax and trying to downplay
Right.
the seriousness of the issue with the disease, and also kind of like ignoring the CDC recommendations and whatnot. But here you have this ad saying that he acted accordingly, that he's strong, that he's for still for workers' rights, for workers, for workers. He has the most what's it called? He has all the workers' best intentions and all stuff like that. And
Yeah.
obviously, that's not the best ad in the world, but it's something he will bring into the battlegrounds. And most people will say, you know what, he did act accordingly.
And that wasn't even the attack ad. That's the crazy part about it. Because it's like I said it once, I said it twice, I'll say it as many times as it needs to be said. Democrats' whole thing is the same strategy in 2016. I better than Trump. That's it. That's all their attack is. I better than Trump.
They don't
This
say
guy
why.
doesn't know what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. I better than Trump. Love, that's their only attack against Trump
Yeah,
so far. That's the only reason for election, I should say.
yeah,
And all Trump has to do to prove that to win is say, no, they're not. They're not better than me. They say they are, but they're not. And you see the same thing that he's doing, that he's doing to Joe Biden, he did to Hillary Clinton. First ad that he made after Joe Biden was confirmed to be a nominee, he talked about Hunter Biden's corruption. Hunter Biden being part of Burisma, a lot of other things, saying that Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, got rich because his dad was the vice president and it was for influence. Media never talked about it. Now he's going to get hit over the head with it over and over again. Guarantee you Trump's going to hit him on the sexual assault. Guarantee you that they're gonna hit him on his cognitive decline and is wanted to cut Social Security, because if you're sitting here saying Trump's gonna cut Social Security and then we have a video of you saying you're gonna cut Social Security, what are you gonna do? Right? What are you gonna do? Like they're gonna see you lying day in, day out. It was just like Hillary Clinton. You saw it where they hit her on the Clinton Foundation uh corruption. It is to the point where I think the Clinton Foundation had to shut down.
yeah,
They hit her on the TPP, despite Trump being almost as bad on trade.
yeah,
They hit her on the TPP, and they called her to lie. Australia said it that Hillary Clinton was Australia said that Hillary Clinton was pushing the TPP in their country, right? So when she said she did it, not only did Australia come out and say she was lying, right? But then she had to backtrack, right? And then they had a video saying her saying it was a gold standard, and then she had to backtrack. And it's the same thing you see with Joe Biden. They just say all the stuff he said throughout his career as a corrupt politician, and they're just hammering him home on it. Like they're just hammering away. You said X, no, I did it. You said Y, no, I did it. They say yes, you did. And if your whole strategy is I'm better than Trump, and he could go out there and say no, they're just as bad or worse, then why would they vote for you? Like that's the thing. Why
yeah.
would they vote for you?
Yeah, essentially, it comes down to a level of people believing you, whether if you're not just correct on the issues, not on the issues alone, but in whatever you're trying to argue for. In this case, obviously, they're trying to argue that Donald Trump is bad, should not vote
Right.
for him, but they have nothing to prove that
Right.
what they're bringing to the table, what they are, is better than himself. So people was like, you know what, fuck it, I already have 4 years with this administration, might as well have another four. I have nothing to lose.
Right.
Whether obviously there's plenty of evidence that shows otherwise, right? But the Democrats, along with Joe Biden, is not really bringing anything that people will want to vote for.
Yeah.
And obviously, saying Donald Trump is bad and all the dumb shit that he has done is, for some people, might not be enough.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not only that, but you take a look at his response to the pandemic. Everyone was like, "What happened to Joe Biden?" As
Yeah,
soon as the coronavirus pandemic started or kicked off in the United States, everyone was like, "Where's Joe Biden?" A significant amount of the Democratic Party feel that they should replace Joe Biden with Andrew Cuomo. That's if that doesn't tell you how weak Joe Biden is, that's not. Joe Biden has only been a nominee for like a week, 2 weeks, for like as a 100% certain after Bernie dropped out, and everyone's just like, "Can we get Cuomo instead?"
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
like
man. That's this.
that's soon, that soon.
This is
It's
coming
crazy.
from like Democratic establishment people, insiders to the Democratic Party.
Right.
It's not just people in general. This is actually from people that like kind of trying to find out a strategy how to beat Donald Trump, and I say, damn, you know what, Andrew Cuomo looks better than Joe Biden, and maybe we'll bring him into the table. We'll see, but
That's what it is. It's like the Democratic Party is so corrupt that it's like termites in a tree. All right, it's they those that corruption just weakens the tree so badly that they're just losing. Okay, can't hold even when they have a majority of the house, even if they have a majority of everything, they're like, oh, all I can get is some. I can't get everything. Sorry, there's nothing I can do. And it's just like that's how weak it is. Like if you want success in the Democratic Party, you gotta weed out that weakness. Like you can't afford to have that kind of weakness in the party continuously bringing it down. Because under that weakness, he lost the Supreme Court. Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, who was supposed to be super incompetent, right? He's supposed to be an idiot. He's supposed to be a moron. Supposed to be corrupt. Supposed to be incompetent. He beat Hillary Clinton, so what does that make her,
yeah,
right? And then on top of all that, right, you have them losing thousands of seats, losing judge courts all over the country, losing governorships, mayorals, positions, everything, just losing over and over again. And it's just like, and they don't even campaign in all 50 states. They just fill some states on lost causes. And it's just like, that's weakness. Like, that's why it's the reason why they don't do it is because they're weak. And you see it, and you saw it when all they gave was some old BS answers about when they said, "Why did you vote in the Wisconsin primary?" or "Should they vote for in the Wisconsin primary?" All they said in the beginning was, "Oh, we'll let the officials decide." Is that a leader? Like, I will let the other people decide. That does not sound a leader. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You just say no or you say yes, and they said they let it happen, and then as soon as it happened, of course, like always, Democrats late to the party. Oh, that should never happen. And it was just like, then why didn't you say that in the beginning? Because you're corrupt to the point where you're weak. So their corruption forced them to stay back and say, hey, oh, I want this to happen, but I don't want responsibility for happening. But don't get me wrong, I'm taking charge too late. And you saw the same thing with what Biden said invoke the Defense Production Act. It's like he said it like what a couple hours after Trump already came out and said he did it because that's how weak they are.
Unfortunately, that's the same argument that we have to make every 4 years. It seems that's a repetitive thing that goes on with the Democrats, and unfortunately, people are finding themselves falling in the same direction where obviously Democrats are telling you, hey, this is all we got. Better
Yeah,
vote for him if you want Donald Trump, and people are like,
because that's what you get. We have corrupt versus less corrupt. Democrats are less corrupt, sure, but why would I go a corrupt light over corrupt if they're both corrupt?
yeah,
Like, we not gonna spend your time picking out the good seeds of every party. No, like you're gonna be like, okay, all this is trash. But the thing is, at least when it comes to the Republicans, they actually know how to fake it. You know what I'm saying? They go out there, they know how to fake it. So they market to all kinds of crazy stuff, and then the Democrats come out there, they're corrupt, and they don't even know how to fake it. So it's just embarrassing.
they don't, and they like to pretend that they are in the favor of progress, social progress, so any kind of progress, and then anyone could tell it from a mile away. But it's like, damn, these people are full of themselves. But
Yeah,
and
because after what over 10 years of Democrats saying the same thing. Oh, we want social justice issues at the forefront. People realize, hey man, this is just a distraction. Like you say, social issues, people can't pay their rent, people can't pay their mortgage. People are losing money. There's horrible income inequality. Job quality is dropping. No benefits, no health care, no everything. And people are saying, okay, this is some serious issues. We need to get on this. And they're like, oh, well, we need to make sure that there is a woman on every board. And it's just like, okay, cool. That's nice. But what about the healthcare? We need to make sure black people get jobs. And it's like, fantastic, cool. What about the jobs? Oh, we gotta fix the border situation. Like, okay, cool. How are we gonna get the jobs though? And it's the same
Yeah,
thing over and over. It's just like people don't hate social justice issues. It's that people have higher priorities now, and they're not addressing it.
yeah.
That's the problem.
And whenever they try to bring, when people from the left like to just argue based on the fact that why we should vote for Joe Biden, and then people's like, what, let me give you a olive branch. Tell me why should I vote for Joe Biden? Tell me the policies and explain them to me why, and how he's gonna bring those policies into fruition. And most of them is like, they start like not even talking about the issues, not talking about the policies, but they start just pointing out how he's better than Donald Trump in certain things
Right.
based on
So,
no knowledge
yeah,
whatsoever.
right. But it's not good enough. And you see it right now. It's not good enough. And people are just gonna be like, screw it. I would go with Trump again.
Yeah, that's essentially what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, like, you never know, because people, this time around, people actually like Joe Biden. But
Yeah,
if they plan on doing the same, because it comes out to the ads, right? If they sit there and they say, "Hey, he kicked 12 black people out," everyone's gonna be like, "That's nice. Get the fuck out of here."
yeah,
Like, it's gonna be ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard for Trump. I'm not saying that he's gonna be like a super cakewalk, but because
Of
of the
course.
COVID-19 issue and the whole fucking economy being the crisis there is, and but at the same time, I think that's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the general. But we could, from what we know now until this point, it's gonna be hard for the Democrats and Joe Biden to make a strong argument for themselves to
Right.
win.
Exactly.
Yeah.